A very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. It's a delight joining you this evening with the latest happenings throughout the country. The assurance is tonight we'll talk politics. We'll bring you updates on business. We'll fill you in on entertainment. We'll ensure that you enjoy some sports news. So before we bring you this full package, let's give you some snippets of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, government in trouble as more labor unions intensify agitations for better conditions of service. Well, the latest group to join in the demand of good conditions is the Senior Staff Association of the universities, who want the government to pay the allowances by August 8th. Meanwhile, the meeting between the National Labour Commission and the Federation of Allied Health Workers ended inconclusively as they have been directed to go back to the negotiation table with their employers. Tonight, we'll get you more on strikes in the country.
After listening to both parties, they decide that based on evidence that we provided, they need to wait for one more week, after which they will call us back to listen to us.
Also ahead, despite intensified campaigns to make exclusive breastfeeding a habit, new data from the Statistical Service says 47.4% of newly born children are not exclusively breastfed. Also ahead on your election hub, opposition NDC flag bearer GHOne Mahama wraps up his campaign tour in the Upper East region. We will bring you updates from that area.
Young graduates who know everything about mining, and we're going to attach them to the cooperatives. So they'll show you how to do the mining in a safe way.
Tonight we'll talk about pricing with inflation, as inflation expected to hit some 15% by close of the year. When we get you to the business desk, we'll bring you more on these updates. So tonight we have all these stories and more making the 1 hour bulletin. Stay with us as we share all these stories and many more with you. Well, thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. My name is Kweku. Temeng. Tonight, we start with Insight, and Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. On Insight tonight, let's stay with labor matters as a meeting between leadership of the Kweku Teaching Hospitals chapter of the Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals, management of Kweku Teaching Hospital and the National Labour Commission on Tuesday ended inconclusive over the Federation's demand for an allied health directorate at the facility. Well, after almost an hour of an inconclusive meeting, the National Labour Commission directed the feuding parties to return to the negotiating table on August 14. Here are excerpts from the meeting.
After listening to both parties, they decide that based on evidence that we provided, they need to wait for one more week, after which they will call us back to listen to us, because the Minister of Health has intervened, and we made it clear to them that there's supposed to be a meeting scheduled for tomorrow by the Minister of Health. We have only one expectation: a Director of Allied Health is created, and the Minister, we believe, after engaging the board, will make a pronouncement to that effect.
If that fails?
We don't want to get there, but in case it happens, obviously, as leaders of a very sensitive organs in the hospital, we will not take it lightly at all.
We want to assure our professional association members to exercise constraint, because the minister himself is intervening to make sure that the issue is resolved, and therefore we want them to be at peace as the minister and the Kweku management and also the National Labour Commission facilitate the process.
And we expect our members to go back to work. They should continue working. This is more about engagement, and national leadership and the unions have taken over. We don't need industrial agitations, and we want to send a humble appeal to the management of Kweku Teaching Hospital and all state actors that balloons don't rise because of their colors. They rise because of what is inside them. And we believe that unique professions should be given the empowerment and support to grow. And there should not be the situation where we'll be playing professional politics, where people tend to favor others against the detriment of the other. So allied health of over 22 professions, they deserve adequate representation at the core management level, and that should be granted to them.
Well, in our subsequent bulletins, we'll try to stay on the line with allied health workers and we'll try to get more updates on their next move. In the meantime, 3 teacher unions are intending to commence industrial action on August 9, 2024. Well, the unions threatened action if the Ministry of Finance does not authorize the payment of agreed allowances by August 8, 2024. Well, the unions involved in this potential strike are the Senior Staff Association, Universities of Ghana, the Federation of Senior Staff Association of Ghana, I'm talking about FUSAC, and the Teachers and Education Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress, that's TEU. Well, these groups raise concerns over the Finance Ministry's delay in issuing a letter to effect the payment of the vehicle maintenance allowance and other related allowances. Well, in a statement dated Monday, August 5, the union issued an ultimatum to the government demanding that the allowance be settled by August 8 or they would embark on a strike by the following day. Well, these are the demands of the unions that are threatening another action. Don't forget that already the allied health workers are embarking on a strike action. At the moment, it has ended inconclusive when they went to the negotiation tables. We are getting new members also come up with demands for better conditions of service. We're trying in a while. We want to get on to George Anson Yelebo. He is the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association to share with us really reasons why they are demanding for better conditions of service. But like I said early on, 3 teacher unions are to strike on August 9. So let's get to George Anson Yelebo. He is the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the University of Ghana. He joins us via Zoom on the intended strike. George, thank you very much for your time tonight. Let me find out from you, so how urgent are these allowances without which you cannot work? I mean, yes, we know vehicle allowance amongst others are in there, but how urgent is it such that, look, if you don't give us this money, we're sitting home, we're laying down our tools?
It is very urgent because it's turning to be like animal farm, where some legs are good, some legs are bad. The point is that these allowances we are talking of has been in the system since time immemorial. And every time there is a review, anybody who qualifies gets his or her share. And so it is only this year that the review came and they said, we the senior staff and the junior staff, we don't qualify. So we threatened to embark on strike. Then the National Labour Commission intervened and invited the parties.
All right, so share with us more. Are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line, please.
Kindly go ahead. Continue with your point.
All right, so subsequently, they were just invited us. We met an agreement. Agreement was that we qualify, so we should be paid from January 2024, and any arrears should also be paid. Also, the review is done twice in the year. So when it is reviewed in January, in July, another review will come. And we have signed this. And according to Fair Wages, they have reported same to the Ministry of Finance for them to release a letter stating that, yes, we also qualify for the new rates. And for that matter, you should be paid and be paid the arrears. And let me add that in the university system, we have two payroll systems. We have one which is on subvention. So some of the universities are on subvention. Others are paid directly from controller. Those on government subvention have received their new rates and the related arrears. But those on controller have not received even a pesewa. The first part of the year has passed. We have entered the second part of the year. We are in the second year. Not a pesewa has been paid to them. We think that it is not fair on the part of government to treat some of our members this way. Also, those who have been paid, now the regulator, the GTEC, is instructing the universities not to continue to pay the new rates until a letter is received from the Ministry of Finance. And so it means that those who have even been paid, they are going to be reverted back to the old rate. And so when the National Executive Council met, the decision was that it looks like government is playing tricks with us. We sign an agreement and then you turn around to deny us to respect the agreement that we have reached. And that is what has precipitated this.
All right, George, so there's always an opportunity to deliberate, to dialogue. I'd want to find out from you. So have you been able to engage ministries such as the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance on this particular impasse before settling on this decision?
My brother, we have engaged the Ministry of Finance, who are responsible to bringing out this letter. We have engaged and engaged and engaged, and nothing good seems to be coming. That is why we have resorted to this.
Are you getting any feedback on this? Are they telling you that, look, hold on, we are still on your issues, we are going to resolve them, or from the other side, it's a dead end?
I haven't received anything. So, well, that is why we have resorted to this.
All right, George, thank you. Thank you for your time. I mean, difficult times for government, difficult times for labor in there. They are also deciding to embark on an action. We would have our cameras closed there, and then we would be sharing all the details with you. Well, that will do for Insight for tonight. When we come back, we're bringing you some more local stories. We would want to appreciate Pepsodent for making it possible for us to bring you Insight tonight. Well, away from Insight, we have some more local stories, and here, according to 2022 Ghana Demographic and Health Survey, 47.24% of children aged 0 to 5 months in Ghana are not being exclusively breastfed. Well, this number has stagnated over the past 2 decades, despite the recommendation by the World Health Organization that children should initiate breastfeeding within the first hour of birth and be exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life. Well, the report further disclosed that the 3 regions, that is the Greater Accra, Ahafo, and Eastern, more than half of the children did not start breastfeeding within the first hour of life. Well, let's stay a while longer on this particular story and engage Dr. Emmanuel Opon, who is the Vice President of the Pediatric Society of Ghana. Well, Dr. Opon, thank you for your time this evening. Let me find out from you. So, Doc, how worrying is the trend of mothers deciding that, hey, we are not exclusively breastfeeding our children? I mean, back in my days growing up in Kukrentumi, that was it. A mother would just have to go through the breastfeeding process, unless, of course, there was a challenge with the milk or a problem. Other than that, you really had to go through the process. But why are we getting this frightening statistics? Not even up to 50% of mothers. All right, Doc, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself so that, yes, our viewers can hear you. No, I cannot hear you. If you can hear me, I cannot hear you. So, but we can see you. So just. I can hear you. I can hear you. All right, Doc. It seems to be very low here, so you can kindly reposition yourself. We're getting crystal clear pictures, but we are not getting the audio very well. But the topic is very important. We don't want mothers to get this information. Reason why we are trying or doing everything possible to get the education that you are aiming to give. Yes. It's fine that way if you want to go with the earpiece.
Hello, Kweku. Is the sound better?
Absolutely better now. Please go ahead with your pointers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good evening, Ghana. Kweku, we are talking about something very crucial to Ghana's long-term development, and that is breastfeeding. Over the years, more than a decade, we have hung around 50%. The highest we have recorded in terms of exclusive breastfeeding rates over 20 years was in 2008, when we were able to hit 63%. It will interest you to know that our SDG target for exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is 70%. And the highest we came to this figure was in 2008. And over the period, a number of factors, we have identified a number of gaps and challenges to our ability to move beyond this 52%. Some of the challenges are very close to us, and they are challenges that we can do something about. For example, most of our women are now working. There is evidence to that. However, our maternity leave allows only 12 weeks. Meanwhile, we've had a policy in place which is promoting exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. That inconsistency has been a big challenge. And every day in the consulting room, you have mothers walk in and teachers will come in and tell you that they are going back to school. And in the school, we don't have nurseries. We don't have breastfeeding rooms. We don't have proper support for this teacher. So what choice do they have? Most of them get 12 weeks and they stop this exclusive breastfeeding. And that has gone on for more than a decade. So we are where we are. So we are saying that we are joining WHO and UNICEF this year to say that we want to close the gaps. We want to close the gaps and give more support to our mothers to do the breastfeeding. And it is very encouraging to know that there's a conversation that has gone all the way to Parliament to even bring in and formalize paternity leave. And that goes to support the reason and the idea behind the need for community support and at all levels. And we are not just talking about in the community, but even at the workplace, at the hospitals. How many of our facilities have comfortable nurseries, breastfeeding rooms to support our mothers to establish breastfeeding even before they are discharged? So the conversation is multifactorial, and we are very happy that the media is taking keen interest in bringing this up even this year.
All right, Doc. So, yes, I'm happy you talk about closing the gap. But, you know, closing the gap comes with measures. Closing the gap comes with effort. Closing the gap comes in with resources. Closing the gap comes with media engagement, amongst others. So, can you share with us some of the measures you're putting in place to ensure that really this gap is closed, that mothers are able to breastfeed their children?
Kweku, the Pediatric Society of Ghana, over the past few years, have consistently celebrated and created awareness about breastfeeding. This year, we are taking it to another level. Yesterday, we had a massive launch online where we have almost 500 healthcare workers and general public members joining to launch the Breastfeeding Awareness Week. That's what the WHO has advised countries to do. But because of how important this issue is, the Pediatric Society of Ghana has rather decided to dedicate the whole month of August, not just a week, to creating awareness about breastfeeding. That means that most of our members, the society members, and anyone who is interested in the welfare of the Ghanaian child is going on air, is going to the marketplaces, is going on the streets, and having education platforms also in the hospitals to educate our mothers, the families, especially the family members who provide this support. We have very interesting stories of grandmothers even discouraging some mothers not to do exclusive breastfeeding by introducing water. So we are stepping up our education as society, and we're inviting everyone on board. However, this is just at one level. What we are encouraging is that the breastfeeding campaign will be taken to all levels. We will be taken to policy level, where we will begin to have a stronger conversation beyond having the maternity leave for 3 months to 6 months, so that we are consistent in the communication and the advice that we are giving to the community in terms of how long we should do exclusive breastfeeding. We are also inviting our partners to help us have trainings for healthcare providers, midwives, nurses, so that whatever challenges that we have in the hospitals, like nurseries, like breastfeeding rooms, we are able to set them up. One of the areas that we are also looking at is how do we partner with the Ghana Education Service, for example. We have a number of our mothers who are teachers. How do we have nurseries? How do we have breastfeeding rooms, even in the schools, so that when teachers go to work after the 3 months, they're able to comfortably have a room to express milk and breastfeed their babies. So these are conversations that we'll continue to have, and we are encouraging all our partners to come on board. A mother has the right to breastfeed anytime and anywhere, and it's high time that we set up these breastfeeding centers and nurseries to support them. This will go very, very far. And the campaign should not be limited to just a week or to the month, but throughout the year, let's have the right information that we are always churning out every morning so that we get out the right information.
Vice President of the Pediatric Society of Ghana, Dr. Emmanuel Oponde, advising on exclusive breastfeeding. We'll take a break. We're coming back shortly with some more local stories. Do stay with us. We're back soon. All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. If you're just joining, this is News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng. Some more local stories for you tonight. A near government has disclosed that it has successfully operationalized 169 one districts, one factory enterprises across the country, which has led to the creation of job opportunities. We'll speaking during the Greater Accra edition of the regional town hall meetings and exhibitions. Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, together with the Greater Accra Regional Minister Daniel Titus Glover, updated participants on development projects in the region and pledged to enhance citizens' engagement and foster inclusive governance.
The town hall meeting themed Regional Revitalization, Government's Commitment to Growth, Development and Prosperity brought together government officials, youth groups, union representatives, and community leaders to discuss critical governance and economic issues, share ideas, and provide feedback for sustainable development and policy refinement. According to the Minister of Information, Fatimatu Abubakar, the town hall meeting, which will culminate into a national forum, aims to decentralize government communication and bridge the gap between the government and the people, ensuring everyone contributes to Ghana's growth and prosperity.
We believe after 7.5 years of the mandate given to the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it is now important that beyond the discussions, we bring you the updates, real-time updates as to the various projects that we've done in the municipalities and in the districts. This is the reason why, for us at the Ministry of Information, we deemed it very important that we collaborate with our key stakeholders and go to the various regional capitals and show what government has achieved over the period.
Outlining government's achievements and projects in all 29 districts within the region, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Titus Glover, assured participants of government's continuous commitment to provide quality health care, roads, education infrastructure, and economic empowerment at the grassroots level.
What are our achievements in the past years? Sometimes you hear the opposition saying that too much is given, much is expected. So things that we have done in the region is what we want to show to you, both from central government then to our respective assemblies. Key infrastructure projects. We all know the Pukwase interchange, the fourth year that we drive going to Ghana West on our way to Nsawam. We also know of the Temeng, either to School Junction and Maijo, through Temeng to connect to the motorway. You can't drive there. The road is so appalling. But today, it's like Dubai. You drive through the road, and it's a testament of what the government have done.
Answering questions from journalists during the town hall meeting, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam disclosed that the government has successfully operationalized 169 one district, one factory enterprises across the country. This, he believes, has translated into employment for many in the various districts.
To date, we have 169 fully functional factories that were established under 1D, 1F. 169 fully functional factories under 1D, 1F.
Over the next few weeks, the Ministry of Information will visit the remaining 15 regions to further engage citizens and gather feedback on government projects and policies.
In other stories tonight, member states of the Gulf of Guinea Commission are being urged to double up efforts at ensuring that security on the stretch is assured. Well, according to the Commission, the late payment of dues by member states is making it difficult for their operations. There's more in the following report.
The Gulf of Guinea Commission was established by a treaty signed in Libreville, Gabon in July 2001. The 9 member states commission exists to ensure cooperation among the members in the exploitation of natural resources in the Gulf of Guinea and also prevent, manage and resolve conflicts. The Commission has since its establishment met in various countries to strategize for their growth. This year, the 6th meeting is being held here to discuss the way forward to deal with emerging threats such as piracy. Addressing the ordinary session of heads of government and authority of the Commission, Executive Secretary Jose Mba Abeso disclosed that 8 out of the member states are yet to pay their dues this year.
It is important to note that in 2023, only 3 countries pay their contribution. That means Angola, Ghana, and Equatorial Guinea. So far in 2024, only Angola has paid its contribution. We will lack a permanent headquarters and a director of finance. However, persistent threats such as piracy and environmental degradation require our constant attention.
Speaking on behalf of the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul urged the Commission to find alternative means of funding to support its operations.
It is noted that from its inception to date, the Commission has been funded exclusively through the access contributions of member states. Our calls for the determination of alternative source of funding have not yielded results. Given the vested interest in the Commission's output, we have several opportunities to generate additional revenue to support its operations. Unfortunately, the recent trend in the payment of access contributions and member states, coupled with the expanding mandate of the Commission, indicates that the continued total dependence on member states for funding is unsustainable in the medium to long term. Once again, the Executive Secretariat is called upon to take necessary steps to identify alternative sources of funding for the organization.
Well, our assurance is to give you the best of political stories throughout the country, and wherever it breaks out, our cameras will be there to bring it to you. This is your EIB Election Hub. Well, in politics tonight, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, is scheduled to bring his 4-day campaign tour of the Upper East region to a close this evening after visiting 15 constituencies in the region. Well, the former president during the tour engaged with chiefs, religious leaders and community members across the region to share his vision for a better Ghana ahead of the December 7 general elections. Well, he pledged to introduce a new mining policy if elected in the December polls.
Address unemployment in the Upper East region, particularly in the Talensi district and neighboring areas. Former President John Dramani Mahama proposed the cooperative mining scheme during a community engagement at Tongo as part of his 4-day campaign tour. He explained that this initiative will help reduce rural-urban migration by transforming the local economy and boosting economic growth and development in the region.
All the young people who are interested in mining will register cooperatives. We will get a concession for you and we will divide it amongst the cooperatives so that all of you can do your mining and earn something for yourselves. And we're going to bring graduates from the University of Mining and Technology in Takwa, young graduates who know everything about mining. And we're going to attach them to the cooperatives. So they'll show you how to do the mining in a safe way. And when you have finished the mining, how to level the ground and plant trees on it so that the ground will be reclaimed properly. There are 2 mining companies, Shanzi and Cardinal. We are going to ask them to train our young people in this area. So anytime they want to employ people, they must employ young people from Talensi here and the surrounding areas.
Another significant challenge facing most districts is lack of good road infrastructure. But addressing a rally at Namo in the Bongo constituency, the NDC flag bearer promised to take action on these issues if elected in the December polls.
And I know that what will change the economy of Bongo is for us to construct the road from Bongo to Namong to the border. Because if we do that, a lot of the trucks will prefer to come and pass through here to go to Burkina Faso. And once they pass through here, it will improve the economy of the Bongo district.
Some youth are hopeful that the former president's policies will bring much needed relief to their communities.
Foreigners have taken over our mining industries, and if he brings this opportunity, I think most of our youth will get employment, and I think it will boost the economy. Yeah, really.
We don't have employment. Most of us, we don't have work, so we are not be able to provide our child's needs, like in schooling. I want him to become a president and help us.
The 24-hour economy, I think it is very good so that all the youth in the country can get work, not even Upper East alone. That is why I do follow him.
Teamed Change to Reset Ghana, Day 3 of the Upper East campaign, saw John Mahama visit several communities in Talensi, Bongo, Chanapaga, Navrungo, amongst others, to listen to the people and share his vision for a better Ghana. For GHOne News, Abdulhanan Adam, Bongo.
And my name is Kweku, and that will do for politics, but we'll look at other stories tonight. And here, traditional rulers across the country have been urged to promote cultural tolerance and prioritize peace and unity as this year's general election approaches. Leader of the APC, Hassan Ayariga, made these remarks during the installation of a 70-year-old businessman, Hamidu Dauda Akologo, as the first chief of the Kusasi community in the Asen South, Central and North municipalities of the Central region. There's more in the following report.
The Kusasi is an ethnic group in northern Ghana and southern Burkina Faso. Due to migration, Kusasi people, like many others from other tribes, can be found down south, engaged in various businesses and trading activities. To ensure unity, the Kusasi community in the Asen South, Central and North municipalities of the Central region has installed 70-year-old businessman Hamidu Dauda Akologo as their chief under the scheme name Naba Lasbudi. Prior to the installation of the new chief, the Kusasis in Asenfosu were under the leadership of the Kusasi chief of Cape Coast, who received direct instructions from the Boku Naba, His Royal Majesty Asigri Abugrago Azoka II. A colorful traditional ceremony to install the new chief was attended by delegations from the palace of Okumeni Buafo Asari, Achiahini II of the Efutuakwa Traditional Council, political leaders and other dignitaries. Speaking at the event, founder and presidential candidate of the All People's Congress, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, urged traditional rulers across the country to prioritize peace and unity for development.
The purpose of a chief in any community, first, is to make sure there is peace in that community. So I am appealing to all of you to unite no matter where you find yourself, whether it's a Mamprisi, Kusasi, Busanga, Mushi, Farfar, all of you are my people. Ashanti, Asin, all of you are my people. And I want unity among yourselves.
Speaking with GHOne News, the newly installed chief, Naba Lasbudi, expressed gratitude to the Kusasi community for the confidence reposed in him and pledged to promote education and economic empowerment of women.
Ba mela wa moro ko ba mela tamela na ze shukuru beni so usa sa ka beken shukuru bo sakin de kuela katna mal nyang ka puabla ka tolon ngen sieta bod busia ntete ba.
The Upper East Coordinator of Chiefs in the Central Region, Alhaji Apam Nuhu I, expressed his displeasure at foreign influence on the Kusao culture.
It's something that is eating into the Ghanaian culture, and if we don't try to change it, a time will come that we'll lose the value of our culture. The Constitution of Ghana is very clear. It has recognized the culture of the people, the heritage of the people, the traditions. And that is why we have institutions. To the extent that we have Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs. That tells you how important it is.
The colorful ceremony featured numerous cultural troops engaged in gallant display of traditional Kusao.
All right, so colorful ceremony there. Well, at this moment, we're all set to bring you the latest happenings from our world of business, and we'll talk about inflation. But just before we bring you the details, let's appreciate Bill's Microcredit for making it possible for us to bring you business tonight. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has projected Ghana's inflation rate to reach 15% by the end of 2024. While speaking during the Greater Accra Regional Town Hall meeting in Accra, Dr. Adam highlighted the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration's effort in managing inflation despite economic challenges, noting that the current government has achieved significant reduction in inflation rates since taking office in year 2020. 2017. Dr. Amin Adam compared the current inflation rate to that of the previous National Democratic Congress administration, which recorded inflation rates of 17.7% in year 2015 and 15.4% in year 2016.
Important feature of our economy. We call it inflation. Inflation, the rate of inflation, headline inflation, in 2015 was 17.7%. In 2016, it came to 15.4%. 17.7 in 2015, 15.4 in 2016. In 2027, when we took government, inflation came down further to 11.8%. The year after, 2018, it became a single-digit inflation. Single-digit inflation in 2018 at 9.4%. Again, in 2019, we had a single-digit inflation of 7.9%. 2 consecutive years, the longest period a government has recorded a single-digit inflation. 2 consecutive years. We have had single-digit inflations in the past. But 2 consecutive years, 24 months of a single-digit inflation was historic. Now, when the Russia-Ukraine war happened, again, as I said, we saw global inflation going up. And ours was also negatively affected. In fact, inflation went to up to about 54% in 2022. But again, see the effort we have put into managing inflation in Ghana.
All right, so let's now talk about manufacturing. It's commenting on the government's intention to lease the Commander Sugar Factory to an Indian company. Kwame Gentua asserts that the decision is misguided as it amounts to capital flights. Well, there's more in the following reports.
Look, we haven't done exploration to production in our oil industry for 8 years. And when you look at the oil revenue, it comes in like a tsunami. When the money comes, it comes big. And if we had done exploration to production, at least 2-3 fields, it will give us more money. So far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't have gone to IMF if we had managed our economy properly. We shouldn't have. It shouldn't have taken us there. When the government comes in under IMF, you are going out under IMF. Have you been able to manage the economy well? You haven't been able to. When you look at the
All right, so that's about all we have for you in business. Just the news that we have for you is, do you have your Ghana card? Are you in search of resources to expand your business? Just go to Bill's Microcredit. They are waiting for you to give you that needed loan that you're looking forward to. I'm done with business. Well, definitely, I'm sure it reminds you back in the days in your 90s when you were enjoying the rap music. Well, these wonderful gentlemen are bringing the genre back. Well, that's about it for tonight. My name is Kweku.